Hello guys, I'm gonna start a series for you guys. This is gonna be my first time, so I might mess up quite a bit for you guys.
Are you even recording?
And my first, this is gonna be my first one. I'm gonna show you guys how I build my farms up, depending on if you guys like big farms, little farms, that type of stuff. I will show how I do both of them. First, I start out by, if you have the government subsidy signs, which you'll find in your placeables and miscellaneous, and you scroll over till you find them. And just to warn you guys, this is in New Farmer, so I do start out with equipment and fields. So I'm going to get rid of the equipment. And I'm going to be doing this on the Northwest Pacific map. And after you guys set the government subsidy signs and get rid of all the other stuff, you want to go in and speed up your time. And the field I'm going to show you guys how to do, like I would do my big fields on, or farms on, is going to be over here on field 33, because it is a really big field. Let's run down there and tell it. This is going to be the field we're going to be doing the farm on, or I could do it over here on 35, so the stuff is more sprawled out for you guys. And I'll show you how I do, like, what designs I do, like the different ground types I use in your painting mode. But let's get our money racked up first so we can buy this field and then terraform it. Because I like my farmyards to be level. You don't have to run them this way, but you can. But this is how I prefer to run my own farms. I mean, I have other videos of farms I've done in the past, but mainly this one's going to be showing you how I set my farms up. And I thought this would be a really good spot to build a big farm. And then over here, if you like really small farms, if you want to take a field out, I would take maybe 32 out, or 31 if you like really small farms. Or come up here to field 22, which is right here by where the main farm usually starts, which was right here, and terraform this so it's flat and put sheds and that on there. I mean, doing this eliminates one of your fields, obviously, but you can still, if you get the right fields, you can still take them and put them together. Like, if you want a good size field or a decent field, you can take field 30, which is right here, and 31, and this is on Pacific Northwest, like I said earlier. You can take 29 and 30, which I did on mine, and plot them together. Or if you want like oddball shaped fields, you can take 31, 32, and say 34, and turn those into multiple or one big field. Or if you want to get real crazy, you can take 32 or 29 through 35, all these fields right here in this corner, plow all of them together and make it all one big field. But I'm not necessarily saying you have to do that. It's just a recommendation. Let's go back. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna buy field 35. And I'm gonna keep my time sped up for now, so I can get quite a bit of money, so I know I got enough to do this on. But pretty much what I do is I will go to outline the whole field in the terraforming tool, which I'm holding down. The best way to do this is you start on a level area. If you want a higher area or lower area, and you're going to press and hold your R1 in the sculpting mode, and you're just going to keep running it around the edge of the field. And obviously your money's going to go down real quick, but don't worry if you have that government subsidy sign or the windmills and all that type of stuff. See, if you notice, that's two different heights, so you can fix that by just going back to where you already terraformed and fix it. And on a good day, I can terraform, place buildings, and paint my roads in and grass areas in within about hour and a half to 2 hours, roughly. Depends on how big a farm you're doing, depends on how much time it's going to take you to build it. Let's see, we're just ripping this whole field all the way down. I might time lapse this section for you guys through the nighttime, so you guys don't have to deal with the night. But if you are going to do this type of work, you're gonna need a lot of money. Not like no 60-70 million dollars, but like 20 probably tops. Depends on which map you're working on and how big an area you want to take out. See, like right now, I'm taking a pretty decent size out. That's why I have a little extra money, so I know I'm going to have enough to rip all this out and place everything, paint everything I need. And I am streaming this on, or recording this on a Thursday. I should have it out probably by this weekend for you guys. After I get it edited, all that type of stuff. And like I said, this is my first time doing this stuff, so I'm hoping you guys enjoy it. And I will make a folder later after I get some more of these how-to videos made up, so it's easier for you guys to find them. I'll have a folder in my YouTube page of just the how-to videos, and then I'll have one of my, I'm not for sure what I'm going to call it yet. I think it's going to be called Big Dog's Super Series or something like that. And I'm going to be doing a farm series for you guys of, like, I'm going to start out with probably 3 or 4 million. I mean, I might just start out with the starting equipment in the game and just I'll keep on building my farm up as I go. It'll probably be a 3-week series, so it's not going to be an outrageous series, but it's going to be a decent series. Alright, let's wait until it gets the light out so I can see again. See, I already got 18 million, so I should have enough to do everything. And also I'm doing showing you guys how to buy animals if you're not familiar with the game yet. But here's the area I'm going to be putting that farm up in. I mean, it's a pretty big farm area. Let's get the time go back to full or regular time. Usually what I'll do on my farms is I always start with my silos. I mean, you don't have to start with your silos. I prefer to start with silos because then I have a good idea of where I can start placing my other stuff. And I'll place probably, if I use the modded silo, I place about 4, sometimes 5 Or I'll just put 2 big rows of them. Kind of like this. Just put a big thing of them. Because if we go out to my save menu, I didn't mean to save it, but that works. We'll go in here. I got about 2.64 million liters of storage right there that I can use. And I'll start with placing a house down. It doesn't matter where you really place the house down. If you like it more towards the middle, I'd say place it maybe there. On my farms, I like to run big sheds because I use a lot of equipment. I'm not gonna lie, I love using big equipment for my setups. Sometimes my sheds are not always filled right away. Sometimes I just use it for storage for bales and loose stuff like grass or straw and hay for the horses and sheep and all that. Depends on what animals you use. And then I usually use the Eurotunnels, the Eurotunnel mod for my bale storages. Sometimes I'll place 2 of them in a row like this. It might not be straight, but that works. See, I'll place 2. They might have a gap between them, but it works good for your bales. And for animal, like my animal equipment, I usually use these long sheds we got for mods. I usually place probably 2 to 3, depends on how much equipment I need for my animals. And if you notice, I do have a lot of sheds. Next, we're going to go to placing a workshop down. My favorite workshop ones are usually the Mercury Farm shops. And usually I place these more towards the front of my farms. But that's really up to you guys where you want them. And if you guys like doing animals, what I usually will place is, or if you guys have it, I usually use the Mapper's Paradise's placeable ramp down. And if you like to sell your straw instead of and place the barn mods up, which are called the Edge Deluxe barns. Always gotta have wash stations for your equipment. A lot of times I place 2 of these down. I'll place one up here in the back, or back here in the back for like the animal stuff, and I'll place one in the front unless I'm running low on slots, which on console you do gotta worry about slot counts. But if you're playing PC, you don't have to worry about the slot counts. And then usually with buying seed, that type of stuff, I use these silos because I prefer to use these silos because you can literally buy anything out of it. Then I always put a fuel station down. We'll put that about right. We'll put it over here at the wash station. So right after you wash it up, you can fuel your tractors up. Or sometimes I'll place them out in front of it so you can drive up on either side of the pump to fill up. Since we're going to do water or animals, I use the modded water stations usually, but you don't have to use the modded one. We have the in-game ones, which is under your placeables miscellaneous at the very beginning. Right there. It'll be the 4th one from the beginning. And then the in-game vehicle workshops you can use also. I'm just showing you guys how I would build my farm. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to build yours this way. We're gonna place chicken coop probably somewhere in here. And since we don't really got a lot of modded pig pins, I usually use this one, the in-game one. And then for, depending on what size of horse paddock you want, I usually put my animals all in one area, so it's easier for me to know where all the animals are at. I usually just put them in a big circle like this. And I know there's a lot of open area I can still work with. So if I got a lot of room left, I like using the decorations usually if you got the extra slots. I usually will place a couple trees down throughout the farm just to spice up the farm a little bit. And we'll place some of these walls down that Mapper's Paradise made. Just for a nice little patio setup. And then also what I'll do is I'll place lights all over the farm. You don't necessarily have to do the lights. I just prefer the lights to help light up the place. Go back into my decoration list. And if you notice, there's hundreds of millions of different things you can use for your farms. But we're going to go to the painting mode, which you go into your terraforming tool, or first sculpting again. Hold on. I almost forgot to show you this trick. I usually will smooth everything around the edges out, which you'll go into your sculpting and you're going to press and hold triangle to do the smoothing trick. You don't have to smooth it out. I usually like to, so it's a smooth entrance around the farm. Obviously, you're not going to be able to smooth right up against the buildings here. Pretty much anywhere I can smooth it out, I will. And now we're going to go in the painting tool. If you look in the bottom right corner where it says brush size and ground type, I usually use more of a gravelly asphalt look. And usually I'll pick a nice wide path throughout my farm. And usually the main entrance always has a big area, so if I just had to come in to turn around, I can do that. And I'll put a path all the way down around by my sheds. And I usually do a good path in front of my shed, or a good concrete pad in front of them, so I could back equipment into the shed. And then we'll go back here, put a path towards the silos. And I go right down the middle of the silos with the path first. And then since the loadout side is over here, I put a path coming out and over. Bring it kind of out. And when you do the one by the silo, you always put a big U shape so you can get in and out of your silos easy. And your wash station, you do the same thing. If you want to go from your wash station straight to your silos. And we'll have kind of a smaller one going into this shed or barn. And I come out and around in front of the water tank. Obviously in front of all the sheds back here too. And next to the cattle barns, I put usually a big concrete pad with one going in front over to these guys. Down the side. Obviously in front of the chicken house. And like I said earlier, guys, you don't have to build your farms this way. It's just a way I do mine. So I got plenty of room for everything. I usually just paint a road up and around. And then I'll go to the first grass mode just to clean up the edges a little bit inside the pens. I'm gonna put a nice big long driveway in to go up to the house. And another big one. I'll hook it. Do like a big drive around type driveway. Always clean your work up, guys, if you can. I mean, I understand if you're new to it, it's hard to learn how to clean this up. Clean the edges up. And a lot of people, they'll use more of a dirt texture for the driveways. I'm more like my gravelly look. And all the other stuff that's not gravel, I'll fill in with grass usually. So yeah, I'll just run. I usually go nice and slow around my driveway areas or pathways, just so they look nice. And then I'll go up in front of the house with it, because I'll show you a trick in a minute with that. What I do. And no, guys, I'm not going to make this look perfect right now. I'm just kind of showing you guys what I do for my farms. I kind of like a darker grass look on mine. Some farms I do a light grass. And then I'll put some grass around the bins. Make them pop out more, kind of. I know, guys, it seems like if you guys wanted to mow the grass to make it look nice around the farm, I know it seems like a lot of grass, but it's how I like doing it. And sometimes a nice little grass island here and there looks nice. I know, guys, I'm missing a bunch of stuff that I could put in a farm. Just this is what I do. I mean, I could put a bunker in, but since I'm not actually buying animals on this farm, I'm not going to put the bunker in. To me, it'd be kind of pointless to put the bunker in if I'm not going to work on this farm, really. And this is more for the guys that like their farms more sprawled out throughout an area. But you could do the same process, just put stuff closer together. And we'll get some more, put it here. But pretty much a lot of the open areas I like to put grass, spice up the farm a little bit. We'll touch up right here a little bit. kind of clean these edges up. And for the pathways, guys, I usually just use a kind of a sandy look, sandy dirt texture. Like I said, you guys don't have to use these colors. It's just what I use on mine. And I'll usually put a pathway, will work up to the house, then around, out to the driveway. And I usually like to put like a little patio area in up by the house. It's kind of like that. And to lay down the grass, guys, you just press and hold X. If you just look in the top corner, or if you're on Xbox, use A. Just fix that up a little bit. Maybe put another road in, so if you're coming from a different route, you have more of a Y look for a driveway. And like I said, guys, this is just a quick mock-up of a farm I would build. It's not exactly how I'd build a farm, but I thought I'd start doing these informative videos for you guys. Maybe it will help you guys see how I set my farms up, and maybe you guys would want me to help you build a farm. Obviously, this is a super mega jumbo farm. And there's different places on this map you can put farms up. I just thought doing 35 would be a nice area you can put a really decent sized map up, or farm. And I forgot to build this thing back up, or build it up. And the final touch to it, the workshop.